There he is, the Jason Voorhees kind of guy. What's up, everybody? How's you guys doing? Nice to see you guys in here. You can see a nice, lovely tuchus behind me on my screen. But I know a lot of you are excited tonight. I know a lot of you are excited tonight because I know Jason Voorhees has a massive, massive, massive fan base. So I love Jason Voorhees. I mean, there's something special about the guy, right? There's something special about the franchise. And I think what it is it's fun. It knows exactly what it is. It doesn't try to delve too deep. And I'll even say when it does try to delve a little too deep, it gets itself in trouble. I don't know, would you guys agree with that? But it is exactly what a cheeseburger slasher should be. You know, it doesn't think too hard on itself. It puts some lovely teenagers in a camp environment, and Jason goes around and he kills them. And we laugh and giggle, and we have fun with it. And that's all it comes down to, guys. Okay? I don't know how to sum it up any better than that. But, I mean, I think the picture behind me pretty much encompasses everything that the Friday the 13th franchise is all about. Maybe not everything. That's one thing. That's the TNA part. I'm looking at my little. Am I too loud? Am I too loud on my microphone? Let me know. Let me go up here and see how you guys are doing. All you. Oh my God! Look at all you Jason fans out there. It's so cool to see you guys. Jesus. Crew member, what's up, man? Brett, man, Jonathan Nichols, Norton. Man, it's hard for me to keep up. Some Neat, what's up, brother? The Real Sean. Erica, how are you doing? Xander. CWG54. DT Into Horror. Brock Savage. Fatchy, what's up, brother? Matt. Weather Boy. A lot of beautiful people in the chat. Metalhead 6442. Man, I'm excited. This is, you know what's cool about these live top 10s too, and this is the second live top 10 I've done. The first one was Halloween top 10 scenes, and it's just I do have a lot of preparation, but it's a different type of preparation. You know, I have to come up with my list, and then I have to do up all these visual representations, because every time I mention these, you're going to see a visual representation for each one that I'm picking. Did I see? Yeah, Tyshawn, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. Chris Snyder. Did I say Chris Snyder? Well, if I didn't, I said it again. Ashley Morrow. Ashley, how are you doing? Joshua Tayback. Mark Mack. Wade Fox, what's up, man? Movie King. The Mindbender. There's Beth S. How you doing, Beth? How you feeling? Good. Top 13. Yeah, here we go. Now, let me give you guys the ground rules. And before I give the ground rules, this will be dedicated to Dave Vanderhoff, who has a birthday tomorrow. So I told Dave, I'm going to dedicate this one to you, because he's a big Friday the 13th fan as well. He's a big Halloween. I mean, he's a horror fan like we all are. And for Dave's birthday, I wanted to get a review out for Bloody Birthday. He sent me Bloody Birthday on Blu-ray. And I'm like always fighting the clock, guys. Okay, I got a big heart, but I'm always fighting the clock, constantly fighting that goddamn clock. So much so that I literally watch movies on my lunch break. Like over the last 2 days, I watched Bloody Birthday on my lunch break at work. Enjoyed the hell out of that movie, by the way. If you haven't seen Bloody Birthday, definitely check it out. It's fun as hell. It's kind of unique too, because it involves evil children. And there's a reason those children are evil. And I'm not going to get into a full review on here, but what I will say is I'm definitely still doing that review for Dave. That's happening. I want to review this movie too. It's going to be a fun movie to discuss. So any of you in the chat, if you haven't seen Bloody Birthday, I highly recommend it. Let me turn on my fan. Jesus, it's freaking. I do this every time. I forget to turn on my fan. There's Dave right there. There he is right there. So happy birthday, Dave. Appreciate your friendship. We've been friends for a while now. You're an awesome dude. You're a big metalhead, rock head. And as a matter of fact, speaking of rock, this just came in the mail the other day. It was an impulse buy, but it's Kiss Rock and Roll Over. And I will say, if you, because I went out looking for vinyls because I do that. And I talked about this sometimes, but when you go out looking for vinyls, compared to online as well, because sometimes they can try to rip you one. Because this guy had Rock and Roll Over, and he wanted $45 for it. And when I went online, I found that brand new for $20. Brand new for $20. So, of course, that's the one I bought. Arrived at my doorstep 2 days later from Amazon. So, but and I got Creatures of the Night. That's on the way too. Okay. So let me turn on my fan. And then make sure you guys have a drink ready. Make sure you guys have a snack if you want a snack. Because we're going to get into this countdown. Because I guess the Halloween countdown was a good barometer for how long these things are going to be. Because that one took all of 2 hours. And I think I did 10 of them. And I maybe gave you an honorable mention or two in there. But, I mean, it literally took the whole time pretty much. Give or take 5 minutes. I'm doing 13 of these. So this might stretch out the full 2 hours. I don't know. It depends on my rhythm. But, yeah, it's going to be fun. So I didn't get the chance. So my mic sounds okay because I'm seeing like a red bar. I might need to just turn it down just a notch. Do I sound like staticky, like too loud to you guys? Let me know. Jason Mongol does not like Kiss. There's always going to be some out there that don't like Kiss. So that's okay. That's okay. We're all music fans, right? Asylum, I haven't picked up Asylum yet. I did see that at the record store. Asylum has a couple good songs, like All Night is good on it. Tears Are Falling. Is Tears Are Falling on Asylum? I think, yeah, Tears Are Falling is on Asylum too, which is a really good Kiss song, by the way. I just haven't gotten that one on vinyl. I'm slowly but surely building my Kiss vinyl collection. I probably have a third of them right now. I'm working my way, okay? It's intoxicating. It is. All right, cool. Sound is good to me. Okay, cool. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Now, let me turn on my fan because, like I said, it's really hot. It's hot in here. I got my studio, it's small, okay? It looks like it's big on camera, but it's not. It's small, all right? And I got a stool here because sometimes I can, like, walk around like a gorilla. I got, like, my fists are on the stool, and I'm, like, circling the stool like a gorilla because I'm weird like that. And fuck SeaWorld, okay? I'm going to tell you a quick little SeaWorld story here in just a sec, all right? Because fuck SeaWorld. Hold on. Hashtag fuck SeaWorld. That's the hashtag for tonight. All right. And of course, hashtag Friday the 13th. But yeah. More importantly, fuck SeaWorld. So anyway, quick little SeaWorld story for you. I'm going to make it real quick, okay? I took an extra day off of work. I had a nice 4-day weekend. So I thought, you know what? I want to get the wife out of the house. Let's go to SeaWorld. Of course, we're being safe. We have our masks. Everybody that's at amusement parks, they're wearing their masks, as they should. And so I went online. I bought my tickets. They make you select the date, right? And so I selected the date of this last Tuesday. And when I bought the tickets, it said for Orlando, Florida. Orlando, Florida. And I think their system screwed up or something, because then when I went to click on the calendar, what I didn't realize was it put San Antonio on there, but like you couldn't tell that it's, because you're in Orlando, Florida, right here, SeaWorld, Orlando, Florida. I'll buy tickets for Orlando, Florida, and then they want me to pick the date, and so I click on to pick the date. They don't even tell you that you're actually picking San Diego or San Antonio. Sorry. So then we drive an hour and a half. We get to SeaWorld. Fucking crickets. Like closed. As closed can be. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Right? And so I'm pissed off. I pick up the phone. I call SeaWorld. I said, I want my goddamn money back right now, you motherfuckers. And I said it in the nicest way possible. And they basically told me to go fuck myself. And so after about 20 minutes of constantly, I was like, if put yourself in my situation, okay? What if I sold you something and you had to drive an hour and a half away to get that something, and then when you get there, I don't have it. I tell you, I'm sorry, I don't have it today. I'll have it for you on Thursday. How would you feel, SeaWorld? How would you feel? They didn't care. They didn't care whatsoever. Worst customer service I've ever seen in my life. You know how Amazon's customer service is like the opposite of that for the most part? Like you contact Amazon, they're, oh, I'm so sorry, we're going to send you out, and here, just keep the original product and we'll send you a refund. No. SeaWorld basically wanted to bend me over and they wanted to fuck me right in the ass. That's what they wanted to do. Fuck you, SeaWorld. Okay, that's my SeaWorld story. All right, cool. But I called my bank and I said, I'm disputing this, okay? That's what I'm doing. I see it's hiding all the comments though, because all you guys it's my fault though. It's not your fault, okay? YouTube, blame me, not them, all right? I'm gonna show every one of your comments because you have that right, okay? You have that right. I gave you that right. There we go. Okay, cool. Fuck SeaWorld. All right, awesome. Okay, Are you guys ready to do? I see that Beth stepped away. I wanted to make sure I stopped so that way everybody gets a fair shot at this, okay? I want you guys to see what my number 13 is. Maybe we'll do a little bit of funnies before we start. Do you guys want to do like maybe a couple minutes of funnies? You want to do that? Did you see Dennis Quaid and Louis Gossett Jr. while you were there? I would have been so happy if I did. I tell you that. And if I would have saw a 25-foot killer shark while I was there, that would have been even better. The mother is in the park. I'm right there with you, Chris. Okay, I'm right there with you, brother. And I saw another super chat up here. Hold on just a sec. Hold on. Another super chat up here. Where'd I see it? Yeah, Brass Real Bobby. What's up, brother? He said, dude, thanks for doing this. Jason and Batman are my two favorite fictional characters. Awesome. I freaking love Batman. And right below him, there's Destiny. I forgot to say hello to Destiny. How are you doing? All right, cool. Destiny Faulkner, she actually watched Night of the Living Dead, and then she literally painted her face up like a zombie while she was watching it, I think. And it was just the coolest thing. And it just made me happy because it made me think, this is what's awesome. This is why it's awesome to be a horror fan. Because horror fans are the coolest people on the planet. They're the most caring, loving people on the planet. And if you're not like in our little community, then you don't get it. And you think you judge us by how we look when we're actually kind of the opposite of how we look. We're actually big sweethearts. Am I right, guys? And I just love the spontaneity of horror fans. I like how you guys are freaking just the friendliest people. Like the friendliest community I've ever been a part of is the horror community. So I don't take it for granted. It's a big blessing. You guys are amazing. Amazing. So amazing that I'm opening up my monster right now. Hold on. Tom Unger says, Lee, did you see Carpenter say that Blumhouse... Hold on. Blumhouse masks sucked, but then came out and said he was joking. That sounds like Carpenter. Carpenter's super, super honest, by the way. Very honest. And so honest that he like even threw a jab at Rob Zombie, if you guys remember, a few years ago. Because I guess Rob Zombie was... I think Rob Zombie like was a dick to him or something like that. Or I can't remember what the exact story was, but he basically said, fuck Rob Zombie. And then later they hashed it out and they kind of made up and kissed and everything. But Carpenter's like that. He doesn't care. He will tell you exactly what he's thinking. So group hug. That's right, Jason. Group hug. And I apologize for bringing Halloween 6 Myers into this with his Creep It Real. Winter cap, Jesus. But sometimes look at the detail on this freaking Halloween 6 mask, by the way. This is the first official Halloween mask I ever bought, so it holds a special place in my heart. And as a matter of fact, I believe I did, in my first or second year of YouTube when I bought this, I did an unboxing for it. So it's out there in the ether somewhere, me unboxing this bad boy, but I just love the detail on that thing. It's really awesome. And if you want to see, and here's just to make things right, there's the Jason mask. Okay, I got 2 of these. This one's a little thinner. Let me get the other one. Hold on just a sec. Yeah. This one's thinner, but then I got this one, which is a little thicker, and it's got Kane Hodder's signature on it. My wife actually got me that for Christmas about 3 years ago. And then I ended up meeting Kane Hodder a couple years later, which he's like the sweetest guy you could ever talk to. But I love my Jason mask. It's really awesome. But I like this one because it's got the axe wound in it from part 3. So, also, let me show you guys a couple funnies, and then we're going to get rolling. All right? Couple funnies, and then we'll get rolling. Let me click over here to the where did I put it at? News? Yeah. Over here. Okay, so I posted on Killer Flicks. I said, show me some funnies for just Friday the 13th. So Blake Garner, I can't remember the guy's name. He's related to, wasn't he Frank Sinatra's like son or something like that? And he said, "You're beautiful when you're angry, sweetheart." Which, by the way, she passed away of cancer. Yeah, here's the full-size picture of that. But she passed away of cancer, sadly. I'm only going to show a couple of these, and maybe I'll show some more on we'll bookend it with these, all right? Because I want to get rolling in this. When it's your day to kill, but everyone is more afraid of a virus. Yep. That's a sad thing with slasher killers right now. They got the corona to deal with. So, here's one from Ashley. It says, needs dollars for camp. I like that. That's pretty funny. Okay. Now Chris Snyder here, he shared one of these Bob Ross ones. And don't we just love the Bob Ross ones? Now let's put a tiny happy bloodstain. I love bloodstains. They remind me of happy times at summer camp. Don't you love summer camp? Here's another one from Chris Snyder. Come on, man. It's okay. She'll run out of coffee eventually. You know, because sometimes Freddy gets a little sad, you know, because he waits every night for children, and they just don't show up. They don't show up. Chris Steiner, you're batting 1,000. Feeling cute might kill some camp counselors later. And I'm gonna end it with this one, and then we'll come back to these. All right, Alicia. She said, "You might be cool, but you'll never be Jason Voorhees slamming a naked girl into a sleeping bag, into a tree cool." I read that completely wrong, but that's funny. So yeah, good stuff there, guys. Good stuff. All right, back to this. All right, and let me bring you guys back up here. Okay, so that's just to wet your whistle. If we have time, we will do more funnies. Okay, we'll do more funnies. All right, so you guys ready for this? The top 13, here we go. We're at 196 viewers. That is the power of Jason Voorhees. Okay, Jason Voorhees commands that kind of audience. So Jason Voorhees is awesome. The movie Fanatic. Lee, did you know that there were a grand total of 3 Michael masks in the original Halloween? Yeah, I knew that they used a few masks on set. I thought they made even more than that. But I think you're right. Because there's that photo that's floating around. It's like an after party, and I know there's at least 3 in the after party. So it's really cool. But yeah, I knew they used more than one, and I don't know what. Like, I know one of them ended up under Deborah Hill's bed, and then it ended up in Halloween 2. I know that Nick Castle said that he was given one of them, and then somebody years later wanted to borrow it, and then they kept it, and they never gave it back to him. How horrible is that? You borrow the mask from the guy who wore it in the first movie, and you don't give it back to him? That's jacked up. Speaking of Deborah Hill, I just got this t-shirt in. Hold on just a sec. I want you guys to check out this t-shirt. This was being worn in that documentary In Search of Darkness. And when I saw that t-shirt, I just had to have it. A Deborah Hill production. And it almost brought a tear to my eye. I mean, isn't that beautiful? Because nobody ever talks about, I'll just hang it right here. Nobody ever talks about Deborah Hill, you know? Everybody talks about Carpenter. Everybody talks about Tommy Lee Wallace. They talk about Nick Castle. Nobody talks about Deborah Hill. And she was the producer. Really, the script was co-written by her. She did all the teenager talk and everything. And she was kind of, you know, I think she was kind of the glue that linked all the evil stuff to the rest of the movie. But like Elijah King said right there, rest in peace, Deborah Hill. I always think very fondly of her, you know, because it makes me sad that nobody talks about Deborah Hill. But Deborah Hill was a very, very important key player in the business back in the 80s and the 70s. So I want to keep her name alive. So I'll be wearing this in my next video that I have to record. The ones that I've already recorded, those are going out obviously, but next one I record, I'm wearing this. I'm going to try to wear this shirt as often as I can because I want to keep Deborah Hill's name alive because Deborah Hill was awesome. Okay? All right. I think you guys are ready. I think you're ready for some Friday. And here, let me give you a little bit more ground rules with this. I'm going to be covering every movie in the franchise. All right? This will be 13 scenes from the franchise. All 12 movies will be covered. I picked one scene from every movie. So obviously, what does that mean? 2 of these scenes are going to be from one movie. Okay? Also, I'm not going in order. The order that I'm going is from my least favorite to my favorite. Okay? And so that doesn't mean that my least favorite's going to be from the remake and then we're counting down to the first movie. No. Number 1 is going to be my favorite scene in the entire franchise. So that scene could be from part 6. It could be from part 7. It could be from part 2. It could be from any movie. All right. So when I'm going through these, it's going to be a good mix throughout. All right. I think you guys understand what I'm talking about. All right. You'll see as we go along. All right. So I'm really looking forward to this. Deborah Hill did play Michael Myers for one scene when Tommy Jarvis is looking out the window and he sees the shadow, the shape standing in front of the house. That's Deborah Hill. That's a really cool scene. Okay, so Erica, here's your Friday talk. Here we go. Friday talk. You're gonna get a lot of it. Okay, starting right now. All right, right now. Here we go. Are you guys ready? I just want to see a line of Bring Me Jason. I want you guys to type out Bring Me the Jason. Just a line of it. Give me a whole row of Bring Me the Jason. All right? I need that in my life right now. You give me that and then we're going to get going. All right? Bring Me the Jason. Tommy Jarvis. Tommy Jarvis was a very important character. I think it's interesting that 3 different guys played the guy for obvious reasons. But yeah. Now this will not necessarily be kills. There are going to be some kills on this, of course, but this will be scenes, all right? This will be scenes. Bring me the Jason. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Now I see it rolling. Bring me the Jason. There we go. Love you guys. Man, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. All right, 236 of you motherfuckers watching right now. We're going to kick it off. We're going to go to number 13. All right. You're about to see number 13. Are you ready? Here we go. I always like to make you guys wait, you know. I like to build that tension. Just like they do in horror movies, okay? Build that tension. So we're clips picks. Here we go. All right, cool. Number 13. Boom. Number 13 is the Uber Jason scene. This is the scene where Jason first comes out. He has been blown up, blown to smithereens. And so then there's the word nano machines is used in this scene. There's all kinds of computer jargon, nano talk, even though this movie looks like it was made on a Commodore PC. But this is probably the most technical Jason movie out there, okay? But this is my number 13. It's my least favorite scene, and I still love it. I still love Jason X. Jason X is an awesome. It's fun. Jason X is like the ultimate cheeseburger movie out of the cheeseburger franchise. You know, it's just silly. It's fun. By the way, guys, okay, this is not my ranking of the franchise whatsoever, okay? I'll go ahead and say right now, my favorite Friday the 13th movie is Friday Part 4. That does not mean the scene that I like the most out of the franchise is from Friday Part 4, okay? This will be probably a lot different than my actual franchise ranking, and I like that. I think that makes it more fun. Because there might be the shittiest movie in the franchise might have one of the coolest scenes ever. Okay? So, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind at all times. All right? And by the way, as I'm going through these, like I just mentioned Jason X. Okay? What is your favorite scene from Jason X? I want you to do that as I'm going down the line. Okay? Is it the scene that I just brought up, the Uber Jason? Or is there another scene from Jason X? I'm sure many of you would say the cryo face smash. That's probably one of the most talked about scenes from the movie. I prefer the Uber Jason scene, just because of how ridiculous it is. Like when he comes out, I saw like one of the comments on YouTube said, when Jason looks like a Power Ranger, you know you're in trouble. Because that's what happened. He looked like a Power Ranger when he came out. It was kind of silly. And when you look at him, like look at this again. Look at this. From the face up, he looks really cool. You know, he's got a little bit of a Terminator / RoboCop vibe to him. But his body is like, because Kane Hodder's such a bulky guy, his body's just really bulky looking. So, hey, look, there it is, best back. So, number 13, we just did Jason X. Yeah, the chat's going crazy right now. You guys are freaking loving this. Okay, so, what was I going to say else? There's not much you can say about Jason X. Because as soon as he comes out, they have a look like these people are so stupid that they approach him thinking that they could kill him or something like that. And of course what is it? She's the robot chick, and she tries to shoot him, and he punches her head off, but it's like the most unenthusiastic head punch ever. Like, remember in part 8, the head punch was so much more effective, and it was hilarious. But it's almost like he plucked her head off of her. You know, it was just a little tap. You know, just a little tap it in, just tap. He tapped her head, and then her head fell clean off her fucking shoulders, and it was silly. But then right after that, how long is Uber Jason in the movie? I don't know, 2 minutes. And then, you know, that's the end of the movie. I think that what they should have done is had half the movie be Uber Jason. It would look cool. But the costume, it didn't age well. Like when I first saw it, I thought it looked really cool. But then when you look at it now, it looks kind of piecemeal and not in a good way and just kind of silly looking. So, oh my God, I can't remember anybody having a smart moment in Jason X. Yeah, this is full of stupid characters. It's a silly premise. It's silly. It's funny. And really, Jason X is a bridge just to get to Freddy vs. Jason. Because, you know, when you have too much time going on and you're trying to constantly put out these movies. Because remember, there was a time when they'd put out a Friday the 13th movie every year. Then it went to like every 2 years. Now we're like freaking, what has it been? 2009, 11 years since the last Friday the 13th movie. But back then, if 2 years went by, they started getting antsy. So they were like, oh, we gotta do another Jason movie. Let's put him in space. Somebody literally mentioned it around a table. Let's put the guy in space. So, Uber Jason is my number 13. Okay? The professor's head looked a little silly. They made regular Jason in X look odd. Specifically, yeah, there was something a little off about even regular Jason. Like his mask looked a little different, a little weird. He didn't have that, you know. That's the bad thing about Kane Hodder's. He played Jason 4 times, but he had 4 vastly different looks It was kind of strange. Like in Manhattan, he's just really slimy throughout the whole movie, which is kind of... Can you imagine if they did a Michael Myers movie where Michael was slimy? I mean, just think about that. Would that be kind of weird? But you could get away with it in a Jason movie. Nobody even bats an eye, right? Yeah, Emily Boomer says, I love how Jason X was aware of how outrageous it was. Very, very true. It was very meta, very self-aware. It knew exactly what it was. And yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Number 13 is in the bag. We're about to move to number 12. Okay, number 12. Can you guess what number 12 is? Any guesses? Anyway, I'm gonna go. We're gonna go to number 12. All right. All right, so we just did Jason X. Let me go down here. Number 12. Trash Can Toxic. I freaking love this scene. This dickbag of a guy in Jason Takes Manhattan. This guy was just... He was just kind of annoying. He was like that authority figure that like there's nothing wrong with being being directive and being an authority type of figure, but when you cross the line of just being annoying as hell and like micromanaging, because that's kind of what this guy was. He was like a micromanager. He was like always just there and just being annoying, and it was just the ultimate satisfaction when Jason picks the guy up and then like just slams him upside down into a trash can filled with toxic waste. It was just very, very, very satisfying. That's what I loved about that scene. One other good scene from that, by the way, is when Tamara, she's got the skimpy outfit on and she's like seducing the old guy, and he wasn't really fighting too much. He was definitely like on board for up to a point, and then I guess he kind of realized what he was doing. But what's interesting too is Tamara is actually the mother of what's his name, Alexander Ludwig, who was in The Final Girls. I found that interesting. So he actually has a connection to Friday the 13th, and he was in The Final Girls, which is pretty much an homage to Friday the 13th. Really cool. But yeah, I love a funny kill in a Friday movie, and the Friday franchise has so many great funny kills. Hell, the sleeping bag kill is hilarious. The first time I saw that, I saw that in the theater too, by the way, guys. Part 7, I saw it opening night in the theater, packed. Everybody's having a blast. It was a lot of fun. But when he picks up that freaking sleeping bag, the roar of laughter throughout the theater was just completely insane. That's kind of like the trash can kill. And I will say, Part 8, I've given that movie a really, really hard time. I think in one time in my YouTube journey, I called it the worst horror movie of all time. And at the time, I meant that. But then, I started finding, I guess, the lighter side of it and the humor side of it, because I always gave it a hard time because the whole movie takes place on a boat for the most part. And there's only one scene that actually takes place in New York. So when I went back and watched it again after I reviewed it, once they get in New York, I actually enjoy the movie. It's actually pretty fun. It's just when they're on the boat that kind of annoys me, Because the whole time I'm thinking, you should be in New York right now. This movie's advertised as Jason in New York. Why are you on this freaking boat? It's driving me nuts. But yeah, that is my number 12. Number 12. Love a good trash can kill. Garbage Day. I'm taking a drink. Hold on. Wouldn't it be great if they had like a little Silent Night, Deadly Night nod in that scene, and some guy just like walks out of the alley that looks kind of like Ricky, and Jason, he's got the guy like lifted up like this, and then the Ricky imposter guy goes, "Hey buddy," and then Jason like he stops and he looks over at the guy, and the guy goes, "Garbage Day," and then he like runs away, and then Jason he like shakes his head, and then he like slams the guy into that would have like really drove the scene home, in my opinion. Okay, that's probably why I don't write these things, because I'd probably have too much fun thinking up stupid shit like that. I like when horror movies give a little wink and a nod to other horror movies, even though, and it might not even be necessarily be a loved horror movie. I actually prefer it when they give a wink and a nod to a horror movie that only us would get, you know? Like if they give a wink and a nod to like Jaws, everybody's going to get that. But when they give a wink and a nod to like Night of the Demons or something like that, then it's kind of cool because us horror fans, we're like, oh yeah, we get it. That's part of our little club. That's our community. That's awesome. 300 of you watching. Jesus Christ. Jason Voorhees, you motherfucker. All right, what are we on? 12? We got a long way to go, guys. Got a long way to go. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Watch old Bandit run. Okay. Any Smokey and the Bandit fans in here? If you're not, get out. Okay. Next one. Trash Can Toxic. All right. Going down here. Close that off. Number 11. Boom. Jason versus Tina. Jason versus Tina. And that is an awesome sequence. So at this point, you can tell I pretty much have a blast with every single one of these movies. There's at least a scene or two in every one of these movies that I have a blast with. Jason X, number 13. I have a blast with that movie. So that should pretty much tell you my opinion overall in the franchise. I think every single movie in this franchise is at least entertaining. Jason versus Tina, that was kind of a landmark event because I don't know if they were talking about Freddy versus Jason around this time. I want to say they were, but this was the first time I saw Jason against a worthy opponent. This was Jason versus Carrie, pretty much. And I liked Tina as a character too. I mean, they built that character up throughout this whole movie. I do think Part 7 is underrated. I do think Part 7 is one of the better Friday movies, actually. And I think it's probably one of the most entertaining. I even like the side characters in the movie, like the Star Mummy dude. I always think of Star Mummy every time I'm watching. Like, I want a Star Mummy t-shirt. That's what I want. I want a Star Mummy t-shirt. Because that's, again, nobody would ever get that except us, right? We would understand that. We all, right now, want a Star Mummy t-shirt. Am I right? We could be the Star Mummy Society. Oh my God, I completely go off base every time. But anyway, it's not easy to do this for 2 hours, guys, okay? I'm serious. Chris knows what I'm talking about. He does this. All right. A few of you in there, you do this. Dino, I saw Dino in there. I know he does this. It ain't easy to talk for 2 hours, is it, guys? Tell them. But once they finally meet up, you got Jason like standing in that little mud puddle or whatever. Immediately, he's like no match for Tina. Like, she bests him constantly, over and over and over again. She's like whipping the guy's ass. The only thing is, Jason can't die. He just constantly comes back. So I think if Jason was stronger, well, I guess he is stronger, but if Jason was more powerful overall than Tina, it wouldn't even be a contest. But, I mean, I think she's way more powerful than Jason is, and she pretty much bests him she kicks Jason's ass throughout the whole thing. She might be one of the few, if not only, adversaries of Jason that really, really pissed him off. Like, you could tell Jason was mad in Part 7 because he was getting his ass handed to him. And then there's that one scene where his mask just explodes and you see his face, and Kane Hodder did a great job as Jason in Part 7. I think his work in Part 7 is his best. Just because, the breathing and just the facial expressions. I'm glad John Carl Buechler, rest in peace, put a mask on Jason that he could actually emote. He could actually put out some emotion from. Because a lot of times these masks, they'll put them on and they just completely cover their face, and if they move, you don't really see their movements because of the mask. But he built a mask where Kane Hodder could actually like move his mouth. He could make facial expressions, all that stuff, and it was awesome. So yeah, that last act, it's badass. It kicks ass. Tina is a very badass, worthy opponent. I always wanted them to bring, they could have done another movie with Jason and Tina, because Tina lived at the end, so it would have been kind of cool. It is kind of weird though, that her father came up as a zombie, like zombie dad comes up, and then he kills, or you can't kill Jason, but he like pulls him down. That was kind of strange. But part 7, I mean, do you guys like part 7? Part 7 I think is highly entertaining. I really like part 7. You know, what are some of the other side characters from part 7? Because I like Star Mummy Dude. You got the one couple that they're fighting throughout the whole movie. And because they're having like this birthday party for this guy Michael, and so he's got like this like little birthday horn type deal, and Jason takes the horn, and he literally like shoves it in the girl's, was it in her eyeball? I think he shoved it in her eyeball, and then he grabbed his head and like squeezed it. A lot of good kills in part 7, even though it's MPAA butchered. Still, I mean, the sleeping bag kill is from part 7, guys. Okay? Yeah, so they definitely butchered it, for sure. But still. So, there you go. Tina versus Jason. That is your number 11. All right? All right, we're going to number 10 now, guys. All right, number 10. We're rolling. We're actually making good time here, too. Making real good time. All right. Number 10. Number 10. Closing that off. What is number 10 going to be? What could it be? I see what it is, but you guys don't see what it is. But I'll tell you right now, I love this freaking scene. It's Axel. Axel from part 4. I just look at the picture. I just want to shut up and I just want to take in that picture real quick, okay? God damn, Axel's awesome. I had this. Let me take a drink of this. Hold on. Fucking Axel, man. This is one of the best side characters in horror history. I freaking love Axel. Axel is the man. Because he's just. It's not like he's not aware of how stupid he is. You know? He just goes for it. Could Axel exist today in a horror movie and be accepted? Like, I don't know if Axel could exist in a horror movie today with the current climate, the current PC climate. I don't know if he could. But I know he likes leotards. I know he likes watching leotards. And this guy, I mean, they opened up part 4 with this guy, and it was just so funny. Like, and it's hard to pull off comedy and still make the character like real. Like, and Axel was like he was that guy. He was a real flesh and blood type of character. He wasn't just there to make jokes for jokes' sake. He felt like that type of character. The actor that played Axel did a fantastic job of making this guy hilarious, yet a complete scumbag. You know, he was able to find that fine line of making this guy just somebody that you could laugh at, but you still, you know, you knew that this guy was going to get it. Like, you knew it was going to be so satisfying once his death scene comes up. But everything up to that death scene, you know, he's just the horniest guy in the world. As a matter of fact, I even posted like this thing on Killer Flicks, like, who would you rather hang out with, Bud from Halloween 2 or Axel from Friday Part 4? And I think most of them said Bud, because Bud he's still kind of a male chauvinist pig. He is a male chauvinist pig, but he's not as in your face as Axel is. I love both characters. It's hard for me to pick which one I like better. I'm glad that they're not exactly the same, but I think Axel definitely makes me laugh more. And he's just like begging that. It's funny because like Axel's begging a nurse, and so did Bud. Bud was like begging a nurse to try to, you know, hook up. Same thing with Axel. But it's kind of funny too. Like Axel's like sitting in front of this dead Jason corpse, and he's eating this sandwich, which I don't know why, guys, but for me, I've always had a problem with that sandwich. Every time I see that sandwich, I don't like a sandwich that's like too thick, and for some reason the sandwich looked way too bready. Am I wrong on that? Like, did you guys feel like that sandwich just had way too much bread in it? Like, I didn't see really any meat in that sandwich whatsoever. It just looked like complete carbs, like complete bread. And it looked like if you took one bite out of it, it would be like lambus bread from Lord of the Rings. It would fill you up for 11 meals. That I had a major problem with this bread, that sandwich. But he puts the sandwich, he lets it rest right there on the corpse while he's hitting on the nurse, which is amazing, which is great. Which is great. I love the guy. And nobody, you guys cannot forget the moment when the arm, Jason's arm, just falls and it hits the nurse. And then what does Axel say? Holy Jesus jumping Christmas. Holy Jesus Christmas shit. Who writes this stuff? Whoever wrote it, give him a raise. That was amazing. I was laughing my ass off. I love Axel. I want to go to parties with Axel just so I could just laugh at he's so freaking funny. He's so freaking funny. But then, so finally, the nurse leaves. She's pissed off. And Jason, he's behind Axel. And let me go back to this pic here. Yeah, he's behind Axel. And what does he do? He grabs Axel. And this is like economy of a kill. You know, like this kill looks like it cost, I don't know, $1.50 to make. You know, they had something around his neck or something like that. But they did the twist of his neck. And it just looked great. And I wish that they would still do. I mean, I'm sure they do, but for some reason in the 80s, they just knocked it out of the park with every kill for the most part. Just because they could only use practical effects, so they had to think outside the box. And they usually came up with gold. And that's what they did with Axel. Which kind of reminds me. I'm reflecting back to Bloody Birthday. And if you haven't seen Bloody Birthday, cover your ears for 30 seconds. But it's involving the kills in Bloody Birthday because there's a lot of like gunfire. Like the primary weapon, and I've never seen this in a slasher movie before, the primary weapon is a pistol. For the most part, I'd say like 90% of the kills are done with a pistol by little kids, which was kind of weird. Like I've never seen this before. This is kind of strange. But yeah, so he completely turns Axel's head around. Then he goes out to the nurse. And I'm glad they started off with this kill because if you compare this to part 7 in terms of kills, part 4 wasn't holding back whatsoever. Like you got Jason, like he sticks the knife in her and like rips it down. And I would say part 4 is probably the most violent in terms of kills. Like it does not stop whatsoever. That photo should be tilted. Surprise finger up the butt. Right? Okay, here we go. Hold on. Let me go back. So Axel. Everybody loves Axel. Axel was great. What was that? Number 11? Was that number 11? I think it was number 11. Axel and that cop from Cabin Fever. Let me read some of your comments real quick, okay? That cop from Cabin Fever, we need to party with both of them. Can you believe it, Erica, that I've never seen Cabin Fever? I know you guys are going to freaking kill me. I constantly get this. I have not seen Cabin Fever yet. I can't believe it. But I like characters like that in horror movies. You know, they're just like the male chauvinist pigs. And they're usually like a little bit of comic relief. They're funny. Tom Savini was a damn legend in this movie. Yeah, Tom Savini freaking... He earned his money in part 4. Tom Savini was the man in part 4. We're going to be honoring Tom Savini a few times in this countdown, by the way. Game Pro Delta says, crew member, no, they had Michael wake up at the mention of his niece and kill everyone in the ambulance. Ooh, that was a nice bloody scene. I like that. I love that ambulance kill when he sticks the thumb in the paramedic's forehead. That's good stuff. That's another 50-cent kill that is so damn effective. Damn it, Axel. Tom Mungan says part 4, 2, and 6 are my favorites. I think that's most people's faves for the franchise. CWG54 says love the test. Christopher Glavin says, well, the great work on the FX was Tom Savini. Very true, very true. Emily Boomer says that picture is everything. Yeah, I was trying to find like money shots for these pictures so that way I can really drive it home which one I'm talking about. So, yeah. Okay, anyway, we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna keep moving. Here we go. Let me bring it back up here. Okay, so that was number 11. No, that was number 10. Sorry, that was number 10. Okay. So number 9, Friday the 13th Part 5. Love you, Deborah Voorhees. I can't believe Deborah Voorhees is a friend of mine now. Like we talk to each other a lot. It's very strange. It's weird. But she is the sweetest, kindest person that you could ever meet. She really is. And I'm not going to lie. I had a little bit of a crush on her before I met her. I'm not going to lie. Don't tell her I said that, okay? But serious. But, this is the scene that caught, like if you do like your favorite Friday girls list, Deborah gets up there. A lot of times she's number 1. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. But, This scene is a great scene. It's just a really great scene. Friday Part 5 is easily, I think, the most gratuitous out of the franchise. Like it's gratuitous in the kills, it's gratuitous in the nudity. It really just swings for the fences, and part of that is because a porn director. The director was a porn director. Hey, help me out. What was the director's name of Part 5? Let me know. Let me know in the comments, because I've freaking said his name a million times too. He also directed Savage Streets, which I freaking love. God, I love Savage Streets. It's right on the tip of my tongue what his name is. You guys are going to tell me in a second. I just know it. But I love. Yeah, I knew that. I've literally had this conversation with her about her past and everything, and what she's been doing since, and how she was a school teacher and all that stuff. Very intelligent person, by the way. Directing 13 Fanboy as we speak, and I can't wait for that to come out, guys. I really can't wait for that to come out. But like Dino said right there, he teed me right up. The stalking in the scene is really good. There was a lot of good Jason stalking in this movie, actually, even though it's not Jason. Spoiler alert. As a matter of fact, I saw this. If you go on Internet Movie Database and you type in characters or cast for Friday Part 5, they literally have a picture of the guy that played Roy, and it says the character that he played was Jason Voorhees. I kid you not. So IMDb, what the fuck are you talking about? He plays Roy. Danny Steinman, thank you very much. Danny Steinman. Danny Steinman, I liked his movies. The guy was a great director. I didn't see any of his porn movies, but I love Savage Streets and I love Friday Part 5. Friday Part 5 is like the ultimate cinnamon roll movie. That's what I'd call it. It's bad for you, but it tastes so goddamn good. Okay? That's Friday Part 5. But in this scene, you got Roy, I guess we'll say Roy stalking. And you got Tina and her boyfriend, played by Deborah Voorhees. They're having a nice hookup scene. This is the quintessential TNA scene in a Friday movie, and it might be one of the most beloved scenes. She was there to work. Let's get the scene. What do you need from me? Let's do it. She's a team player. I love Deborah Voorhees. And so the scene is one of the best scenes in the franchise. It's freaking awesome. They have this nice, it's quick. It's a quick little sex scene, But, they're barely showing, they show stuff, but they barely show the actual act of having sex, It's a lot of like pre-promotion. I brought out some Howard Stern again. But, the kills are just freaking awesome in the scene. You got Deborah, by the way, if you check out my freaking commentary on Friday Part 5, I did with her a couple years ago. It was a treat. It was a treat because she talked about that scene, and she said all she remembers was she was looking up and this big red-headed bearded guy was holding a camera and pointing it at her. I'm almost positive that's what she said. That's what she saw. Of course, you're shooting a scene like that. You're out there for hours and hours and hours. But that's what she remembers. Just looking up, seeing this big bearded red-haired dude holding a camera. But the kill's great because you got these these hedge trimmers, and it's always fun to use a pair of hedge trimmers in a horror movie. I wonder if it was a little bit of an homage to The Burning, maybe. But then you see her eyes, and they're completely gouged out by the hedge trimmers. both those kills involve the eyes. And then her boyfriend, I think I prefer this one actually. His head is up against a tree, and he takes this belt and just tightens it up against his eyes. So he like squeezes his head in half. It's a really, really effective kill. I would even say like Friday Part 5 might have some of the best kills of the franchise. You know, like it's kind of interesting that Roy, who's not Jason Voorhees, almost bests the guy. You know, and Jason has the upper hand because Jason's been in all the other movies for the most part. But in one movie, Roy made his mark. I think that's the one thing, you know, the guy that played Roy, at least he can say he made his mark in that scene, you know? He can be proud that all those kills were just badass. Damn, Crown the Empire, thank you so much, man. That's freaking badass. He's got that awesome little gift there, too. You're the man. Thank you so much, man. That's awesome. Hell yeah. That's awesome. But what was that? Are we on number... That was 9, I think. So we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Having a good one. Having a good one. Yeah, you know what? And this is kind of making me want to throw in Part 5 again because I haven't seen Part 5 in a while. And you know what? People always say the first 4 movies are the good of the franchise. But you know what? You can wedge 5 in there too just because it still has... It still has that same musical vibe to it. The cinematography is pretty much in keeping with the rest of the movies. The kills definitely hold their own against the rest of the franchise. So I think 5 does get a little bit of a bad rap. It's got some silly characters, and I think it's got too many characters, I guess, and it's not on a campsite, so maybe that's why. But I mean, if you want some good old hacking and slashing with a Friday the 13th movie, look no further than Part 5 because the first movie, guys, it's not Jason doing the killing, okay? So Part 5 is not the only movie that doesn't have Jason doing the killing, and I got no problem with that. I really don't, okay? Let me take a drink. Hold on. Are you guys having fun? I'm having a blast. This is fun. I love talking about these scenes. It's a good time. Shake and Bake. I think it's the first 6 movies that are the best. Yeah. Jesus Christ. 200. Damn. Crown of the Empire. Thank you so much. I'm not done yet, Lee. You, sir, are awesome. So as a huge thank you, not just from me, but a little bit from this entire community. Thank you all. I love every one of you. Hell yeah. I wish I could take you all out for a drink right after this. Wouldn't that be awesome? If we could all go out and I would buy you all a drink. That would be all 275 of you. We'd go out and I'd give you all $1 and we'd get a drink together. It'd be awesome. I think it's Part 5 that brought out the love. I think Crown the Empire said, oh my God, he just said Part 5. Fuck it. Here. I think that's what happened. Damn. Crown the Empire, you are awesome. As Beth said, you are fucking awesome. Hell yeah, he is. Crown the Empire. Hashtag Crown the Empire. That's another hashtag for you guys, okay? Crown the Empire. All right. Next one. God, man, I could talk about Part 5 all day. It's tough. It's tough. Let's have a massive Zoom party and take shots. Boom! Yeah, I'd love that. Do they have dollar shots? We might have to dip into our own pockets. But yeah, that'd be awesome. Hell yeah. Crown, yeah. Crown. All right. Crown Vic. What's a Crown? The Crown Vic's a car, isn't it? What's the one that's the drink? Crown Royal? You can tell I'm not a drinker. Jason, thanks, brother, for your channel. You are a brother. Got to get 2 more videos done. Thanks, brother. I knew you were going to be working on some of your videos tonight. Jason's going, I think he said he's going on vacation or something like that. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So let's keep it going, guys. Let's keep it going. We got a countdown to do. All right. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Okay. The GOAT gets a shout out. There you go. Okay. All right. So let me go up here. All right, so I'm so sorry, guys. I gotta take Deborah Voorhees off of there, but The show must go on, okay? So let's go to the next one. But this one's not a bad one either, okay? This one's not a bad one either. Jason Goes to Hell. Jason Goes to Hell, okay? The tent split scene, I think it's safe to say that is probably the most memorable part of the movie. And you know what? Adam Marcus, the man, I for some reason, when I listen to directors talk about the franchise, I enjoy Adam Marcus the most. I don't know what it is. If you guys seen the His Name is Jason documentary, and then also the Crystal Lake Memories documentary, there's a lot of Adam Marcus on there, and he just sounds like this guy that you want to have a beer with and just talk about movies. He's definitely one of us. And one of my all-time favorite quotes from one of the alumni from the Freddy franchise, one of my all-time favorite horror quotes in general, is from Adam Marcus, where he said, horror fans love all types of movies. They just love horror more. And that hit home for me. That really drove something home for me. Like, oh my God, he's so right. Yeah, we love horror to death, but every horror fan I've talked to is a movie lover. They love movies. They love diving into movies. They love dissecting movies. They might not like every single type of movies, but in general, if a good story is a good story to a horror fan, am I right on that, guys? And we really we're movie fans. We're movie lovers. And Adam Marcus really just drove it right home. But also, like, his candid stories behind the scenes. I mean, the guy was in his early 20s. I think he was 23 when he directed the movie. And he's very candid and he's very honest. And he's talking about how, like, Sean Cunningham was like, get rid of that damn mask. So part of the reason why Jason Voorhees isn't in the movie that much is because Sean Cunningham. If you remember, Sean Cunningham directed the first movie, which did not have Jason as the killer. Jason becoming this big icon was kind of a big surprise to Sean Cunningham. And so, of course, he's a businessman. He ran with it. Let's freaking light a beacon on Jason, And wouldn't you know it, Jason Voorhees becomes one of the greatest killers in horror history. He is one of the big three. Michael, Freddy, Jason. All three of those guys earned that spot. So, the scene from Jason Goes to Hell, which is a movie I highly appreciate, actually. I appreciate that, and Adam Marcus said this, if you watch that documentary, he said this. You have 9, 10 other movies with Jason Voorhees with the mask. Why not do something different? Why not try to tell a different story, And they still are telling the Voorhees story, but let's shake it up a bit, Let's do a little body swapping and all this stuff. And yeah, it's not the best movie in the franchise by far, but I still have a good time with it. And it definitely doesn't hold back in terms of like blood and guts at all. And the scene in question that I'm talking about is the tent scene. And I will even say the tent scene is one of the most talked about scenes of the franchise. I think it's safe to say that. A lot of people talk about that scene, and it's one of the most violent scenes, and it's just shocking. You have this couple, they're in a tent, and I'm going to talk about that couple here in a minute in real life, but they're in this tent and they're having sex, and it's if you see the unrated version, it's a graphic scene sexually. And then all of a sudden you got the Jason coming into the tent, although he looks like the doctor or whatever, but he comes in through the tent, has the signpost. That's another big miscommunication too. A lot of people think that that's like a spike or something like that. No, it's actually a signpost. He literally grabbed it out of the ground, and he stabs her, impales her with the signpost through the back, rips it straight up. Insane. And it's just, it's a freak. It packs a heavy punch, that kill. So you got a couple, you got a great kill, and you got, a great sex scene. Let's be honest here. We horror fans, we do like our TNA. We like a good sex scene if it doesn't get in the way of the movie. So it's a good scene. It's a really good scene. And what's interesting is behind the scenes, that couple, they were broken up. They were literally dating in real life. I think literally like maybe months, maybe a year before they did this movie. And they ended up getting cast on the same movie as boyfriend and girlfriend. So they said it was kind of awkward because, you know, they're broken up. They both have their own new boyfriends and girlfriends, whatever. And so they are. They got to do this very graphic sexual scene together. And, you know, if you've been on a movie set, you know that you're going to be there for a long time. You know, I guarantee you they were there a good 8 to 12 hours working that scene, you know, because especially when you're dealing with all the effects and whatnot. Yeah, it just had to be an awkward situation. But it's a very effective and a very powerful scene. You know, it's one of those scenes that really stands out. It's insane. It's intense. Crazy. So that's another thing too, is like the tone of Jason Goes to Hell. It's probably the least comedic of the franchise too. You know, they got a story that they're trying to tell about the Voorhees family. This is the first time, I think, since the first movie where that whole family element was really under a microscope, you know? But damn good scene. Damn good scene. All right. Taking a drink, then we're going to the next one. Okay, we're rolling. 9:07. Here we go. We're making good time here. Jordan Fletcher says, apparently Adam Marcus wanted even less Jason than we got in the film. Like so many early 90s horror, the franchise was struggling for ideas and tried to be too out there and weird. Didn't work. Yeah, I saw that movie in the theater, actually. And I did leave kind of confused because I think Adam would completely understand this. Myself and every other horror fan, when we go to a Friday the 13th movie, we expect a Friday the 13th movie. And I don't think this was marketed as something different, you know? And that's not to say I don't like the movie. I've grown to appreciate the movie more, but when I left it after the first watching, I didn't really like it that much. I was just like, wow, this definitely didn't feel like say part 6 or part 7. It's not that. But I have those movies. So I see what Adam Marcus was saying. You know, if we just keep following the same formula, it's just going to start feeling watered down. So he took a swing. And did he miss? You know, that's up for debate. But he took a swing, you know, and I got to give him credit for that. He took a swing. Hell, the director of Jason X, he took a swing. So, tried something different. Lee, what is your favorite Jason mask? Probably part 3. Yeah, and I know a lot of them are the same, but yeah, I'd say part 3. Just especially at the end when he gets the axe. You know, where'd I put it? Where the hell did I put my mask? Jesus. Did one of you guys grab my mask? You motherfuckers. There it is. Yeah, so I guess this one's probably my favorite. Just because it's got the axe wound. I think the axe wound's cool. This is the quintessential Jason mask. This is the one that everybody thinks about when they see a Jason mask. So, yeah, this is definitely my favorite. Holly Klein says, I did enjoy that Kane Hodder popped in as another character in Jason Goes to Hell. Didn't he say Jason was a pussy? I think he did. Now, I know in Tango and Cash, Stallone, he says Rambo is a pussy. So, I don't remember if Kane... Maybe he did, though. Maybe he did. I'm kind of partial to Sackhead Jason, Beth. I will definitely agree with that. I can't say that I 100% am I like Sackhead better than the hockey mask, but I know that there was a long period of time there in my Friday the 13th fandom. I did prefer the Sackhead Jason, and I think the Friday the 13th Part 2 was the first movie to like. It was I don't know if it was the first, but it was when I saw it. It was the scariest movie up to that point. Okay, and I don't want to say too much about Part 2 because we're getting to that. All right, but I kind of agree with Beth on that. I think there is something unique about the Sackhead. I mean, altogether, he's kind of a different character. He's like a hillbilly killer. He's got the overalls, all that stuff. So now I love that the remake had Sackhead, or a version of the Sackhead, in the first 20 minutes of the movie. That was freaking badass. So, and we'll get to the remake, because you guys know that every movie is going to be represented here, okay? So, on to the next. And guys, we got some heavy hitters coming up here, okay? Because we're down to the top 7. All right, so from here on out, heavy hitters, okay? Here we go. Number 7, Part 3, Can't Be Alive, The Final Showdown. This is easily one of my favorite showdowns. If you remember Friday the 13th Part 3, which we're finally getting a real 3D version of, by the way. Part 3 it's kind of a different movie than the rest of the franchise. And I will say, the movie itself, it's got its problems in the character department. And Shelley, to me, for some reason, and I know half of you guys are going to be like, fuck you, Shelley's awesome. For some reason, I don't like Shelley because he does whine a lot. Like, he's one of those guys that, like, have you ever been to a party and there's that one guy that he's just constantly hitting on, let's say, any particular girl, and he just can't take no for an answer. And so instead of taking it like a man and saying, whatever, screw you, and then just going, he sulks. He kind of whines about it, That's kind of what Shelley did for me. Now, it wasn't over the top. He wasn't like completely annoying or anything, but I don't think Shelley's as great as everybody makes him out to be. Also, I think Friday the 13th Part 3, as much as I love the movie, I think the characters might be not that interesting. Like, if you compare it to the characters in, say, 1 and 2 and 4, and you could even pick out a couple of those other movies. I think, like, let's say, if we're comparing Part 3 to Part 1, 2, and 4, in terms of the characters, I don't think it stands up to 1, 2, and 4. I don't. I think the characters are a little bit weak, and I think the reason being is because they were focusing so hard on the 3D technology. They spent all their time trying to prop up this 3D technology because they wanted the kills to be right there, literally in your face. And so I think that's what happened. But Shelley does, there's something to be said about the guy because he does have a fan base. There are people that they fight for Shelley. They love Shelley. And I get, he does represent the nerd, and we're all nerds. But I think there's better representations of nerds out there. I guess that's what I'm saying. So I don't find Shelley completely annoying, but I think he gets a little bit too much credit. If I want to be controversial, I'll say that. Okay? Did you just grab my ass? What's up, Mikey? I didn't care about any of the characters in Part 3. Yeah, they're kind of, Emily Boomer, they're kind of hard to remember, if I'm being honest. The characters in 4 just like, boom, jump right out at me. But for some, Crispin Glover, Jesus Christ, man. But, that's my problem with 3. But, on the flip side of that, I really did like Dana Kimmel in Part 3. I thought the final act with her, she really turned it up, and she got a little bit crazy and a little bit kooky. She started going crazy, a little bit insane. And I like a final girl that starts losing her shit, because Jason would make you lose your shit too, But they got that really nice showdown. It's a long showdown too. That's a long chase. I haven't done my homework, but it might be one of the longest chase scenes out of the whole franchise. It goes on for quite a while, in that barn. It's going up and it goes down the barn. And then it's a cool moment, though, when she hits him with the axe and then he's still alive. He's like, can't be alive. Like, he's literally hanging outside, and he literally just like this is how strong Jason is. He grabs the rope off of his head. Like, he pulls himself up, grabs the rope, takes it off his neck, and then drops it. That's how strong Jason is. And I think 3 was the first movie to really showcase Jason's strength. So it was just a really cool scene, and I liked that she went nuts at the end. And they did sort of a repeat of part 2 with making the final girl go crazy at the end, because if you remember, Jenny at the end of part 2, as they're like taking her off in the ambulance, she's like going nuts and going crazy. I guess that's Jason. As soon as they see Jason's face, it drives them crazy. Am I right, girls? Like, let me ask you, my female audience, okay? If you see a guy with like the ugliest face you could possibly imagine, does it make you go crazy? What the fuck am I talking about? I need some Chips Ahoy cookies right now. Jesus. I need some Chips Ahoy cookies right now. God damn it. Ladies, let me ask you this. Like, if you're at a party and a guy's wearing like a mask and he takes off his mask, and you're already like committed, because he's got a good personality, things are going well, he's funny, he's making you laugh. You girls like a funny guy, right? So he takes off his mask and he's got like a face like a foot, like he looks like Jason Voorhees. What do you do? I need answers. Female audience, give me answers right now. What do you do if he takes off that mask and he's got a face like a foot? Some of you might be like, I'm still game, because he had a good personality. I don't know. I need answers. I'm going to get my Chips Ahoy cookies, and then you're going to give me answers. Okay? Give me like 62 seconds. Who doesn't love Chips Ahoy cookies? God damn, look at that. Chips Ahoy cookies. Jesus. Man, this is a brand new pack of Chips Ahoy cookies, too. All right? I'm going to open them up right now. I'm excited. All right? Let me see. Did I get any answers? What's in that monster drink? I'll never tell. Mikey Weiss, he sent me, I didn't tell you guys, the monster drinks he sent me, he put vodka in every one of them. Okay, he didn't tell me that either, that freaking slimy bastard. He put a little bit of the slick juice in there, and it's causing me to get a little bit silly. Okay, a little bit silly. And they soft chew. So he's a butterface. Put a sack back over his ugly mug and get it on. That's the answer I was looking for. If you remember in was it Scary Movie 1 or 2, where the Marlon Wayans, he's got like the ghost chick coming towards him, and she's got like the ugly face, and he puts a mask on her, and he has sex with the ugly ghost chick. So that's what Beth said. Get it on. Okay, here we go. That's great. Gonna eat those right in front of me, aren't you? Yes, I am. Jimmy Hayes, look at that. You guys want some Chips Ahoy cookies, don't you? And I tell you what, if you dip these in chocolate pudding, first you will have a heart attack. But while you're having that heart attack, you will be aroused. Okay, that's how good. That's a secret that I didn't tell you guys. If you dip Chips Ahoy cookies in chocolate pudding and you eat it, you will be aroused. Okay, I apologize. You will like pop a boner immediately. It's crazy. But I don't need chocolate pudding because you guys give me a boner anyway. So there we go. I deserve this break. Okay, you're gonna have this break with me. All right. Blood red skies, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a 35-year-old virgin, okay? Your time will come. I do need milk, but it's all right. Thank you guys for hanging with me. This is freaking awesome. I'm having a blast with you guys. We're going to get to, what do we got, like 6 more? Yeah, I think we got like 6 more. That was an outtake from the Hot Shots love scene, right? That Hot Shots love scene is great. Holly Klein. Dino, can't see but listening while going for a long walk. Keep up the good streams. Thanks, brother. Hell yeah. Dino, you are my brother from another mother, man. Dino is one awesome dude. I love you, brother. I love you. Hell yeah. Hey, Boner. George Takei. Every time George Takei is on Howard Stern, it gets a little graphic. But, man, his laugh is like the funniest laugh ever. But the sound bites that they get from that guy are so awesome. Hey, Boner. All right. We got a little bit more than 30 minutes. We got to get going, guys. Let me finish this cookie and then we'll get going, okay? I'm going to drink my vodka-laced Monster and then we'll get rolling. Matt says I'm a 34-year-old virgin. Thanks for giving us... Dude, yeah. You be you. If you can be a virgin if you want to be. That's great. You know? No judgment here. No judgment here. For some of us, it takes longer than others. You know? Thank you, Beth. Let me get this. Hold on. I don't want you guys to hear me eating this freaking Chips Ahoy cookie. That was what I needed, though. Okay, Richard Brooker Jason got traps for days. He's built like a brick house. He's built like a shit brick house. Richard Brooker looks like Jason Voorhees. Like he did, rest in peace. He passed, but some people will say that Richard Brooker is their favorite Jason, and it's hard for me to argue with them because as far as the walk goes, the quintessential Jason walk, Richard Brooker. Am I right on that, guys? He just had the walk. He's the Nick Castle of the franchise in terms of the walk. You know? I loved the way Richard Brooker, he just had that lumbering walk. He was just a really big dude. Yeah. It's hard for me to argue how awesome Richard Brooker was, you know? And I think Ted White's my favorite Jason, but I think Ted White, he probably took a little bit of Richard Brooker's playbook, you know? And I don't know that for sure, but I get a little bit of a Richard Brooker vibe from the way Ted White moves in part 4. So, what did Blade Brown say? I got to read this. Hold on. I see some laughs. Hold on. Can we reclaim our virgin status on account of COVID-19? You can, actually. I think that just came out. That was on Fox News, actually. You can reclaim your virgin status. Okay. This date in 1982, Friday the 13th Part 3 came out in theaters and I went and seen it. Damn, I'm jealous. Did you see it in 3D? That's the question, Dave. Did you see it in 3D? Virginity and Jason Voorhees. Amazing. All right, we gotta get going, guys. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. All right, here we go. Going down. Can't be alive. Where'd I go? Okay, we're on number 6, guys. Okay, heavy hitters coming your way. Number 6. You know what? You've heard me give shit to the remake, but I cannot take away the awesomeness of that opening 20 minutes. That is one of the most awesome opening 20 minutes I've seen in a horror movie. In terms of the idea of it, yeah, there are some characters in the opening 20 minutes that are a little annoying. Not for like, yeah, it definitely has like a little bit of a super bad vibe. Like there's some characters in there like the stoners, and super bad. Remember, came out I think like right before this movie did. Like I think Superbad came out in 2007, 2008, and so. They were trying to capitalize on those characters. And so they said, let's put super bad characters in a Friday the 13th movie because that's what that would work, right? And so that's what they did. But that opening 20 minutes, it's a shocker too because, you know, I saw this movie in a theater. I'm watching it. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, we're starting right off in the campsite, which is what a lot of Friday movies do anyway. And so immediately I'm thinking these are our core cast. These are our main characters of the movie. Because there's quite a few of them too. You know, I want to say at least like half a dozen characters there in the woods. And Jason, he's got the sack head, which they don't show much of Jason at all in that opening 20 minutes until it's go time. But man, Derek Mears was easily one of the best. I mean, he packed a heavy punch in terms of Jason. He just had the physicality. He's a big dude. Like, Derek Mears is a massive dude. And he's a massive fan of the franchise. And he's just one of those guys. Like, he's an actor stuntman. You know? What I mean by that is there are stuntmen that they're just doing their job. They're jumping out of windows. You know, they're crashing cars. And then there's actor stuntmen. Those guys that take it that extra. I mean, Kane Hodder was like this. They want to give something to the part. They want to bring something to the table. They want to be remembered. That was what Derek Mears did. He took. I'm going to be Jason Voorhees. If you watch the behind the scenes, Derek Mears was like freaking tickled pink at they got that role. I mean, it's like a dream role for a stunt guy to be able to play Jason Voorhees. And so you could tell he just took it really seriously, and he tried to do the best job that he could. And say what you want about the remake, but it has one of the best Jasons out of the whole franchise. It's so badass. And that opening 20 minutes is so genius because as it's going along, you know, they're setting up these characters and Whitney, which is Clay's sister. And then they discover, you know, this room where Jason's living and all this stuff. And then Jason just starts killing. And I'm like, 10 minutes into the movie, I'm like, oh my God, like, she got killed off, he got killed off, he got killed off. So I'm like, damn, they're running out of characters in 20 minutes. And then within 20 minutes, you got that awesome shot, this awesome shot right here of Jason. You know, he just plunged the freaking machete right in the top of that dude's head, which is awesome as fuck. And then right after that, he's running towards Whitney. He lifts the machete up. Boom, opening credits. My heart sunk. I was just like, oh my God, that was the most awesome opening 20 minutes I've ever seen. Just boom, Friday the 13th, right? This is Friday the 13th. That was so badass. Then after that, we settle into the actual movie. You know, and it fits into the actual movie because Clay is Whitney's brother. So he kind of like part 4, right? He's wanting to find out what happened to his sister. So, but man, that opening 20 minutes, holy shit, just insane. You had a little bit of some homages in there too with the sleeping bag kill. They put a little bit of a twist on it because they what did they do? They set her on fire inside the sleeping bag, and then they like hoisted her up. You know, because they already did we have the funny version of the sleeping bag kill. So let's make this the intense version of the sleeping bag kill, which I think is cool. You know, you don't want to like repeat yourself because it's not going to be funny because we've already seen the punchline. We've already seen the joke. So I like that the remake, it definitely pays homage to a lot of not only the kills, but also characters. It definitely knows what it is in terms of the franchise, you know? One of my D-watches I did was for the remake, and I'll be the first to admit I had a great time with it. I did. I still was annoyed by some of the characters, but in the end, like any Friday the 13th movie, it's fine. But in terms of the characters, if I had to rate my least favorite characters of the entire franchise, it would be the remake as a whole. Now, I don't hate all of them. Okay. I like Jared Padalecki in the movie. He's good. But man, I really, really hate Trent and the two other dudes. They annoy the shit out of me. You know, they were trying way too hard and they were trying to be super bad. Okay. But still a fun movie. But man, that opening 20 minutes, wow. That's insane. That's great stuff. Moving on. And by the way, guys, I will do, like I've done I think my last 3 or 4, I've done timestamps for every one of these. So after this, I will go and I'll do timestamps. So if you want to, like, if you want to jump, because obviously I'm taking my time on each one of these, kind of really diving into it. And if you just want the quick down and dirty after this, or if you want to go to a specific part of the stream, I'll break it down by each number, okay? So I'll give you timestamps, all right? All right, so next one, number 5, top 5. Here we go. Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason's Resurrection. I love this scene so damn much, okay? Part 6 isn't my favorite movie. It's in the top. I'd say it's my number 4 favorite movie, and that's a good position to be. But, man, that freaking opening shot, and you know what? I can do this. Hold on. Yeah. That freaking opening shot is exactly what I wanted in a Friday movie. I think Tom McLaughlin had the right idea with this movie. Let's make this a true comedy horror, and it is one of the first, like, full-on meta comedy horror movies out there. It really is, and I have to give it that credit. And it has, I would say, if I'm thinking about what my number 4, 3, 2, and 1 is, I think this is probably the best opening sequence of the franchise. It's just so cool because it's a Frankenstein homage, and I love that about it. And visually, it just looks so badass with the lightning coming down and because let me go back. So you got Tommy Jarvis and his buddy. And they're going, and Tommy Jarvis is so stupid. Let me tell you how stupid Tommy Jarvis is, okay? Tommy Jarvis is so stupid that he wants to go dig up an already dead Jason Voorhees to make sure he's dead. That's how stupid Tommy Jarvis is. But Tom Matthews played him beautifully. Tom Matthews is, I think, the best Tommy Jarvis. It's hard to compare him to Corey Feldman because all 3 Tommy Jarvises, 3 different portrayals, really. I mean, the difference between part 5 Tommy Jarvis and this Tommy Jarvis, 2 different people, if I'm being honest. 2 different people. But they go to the gravesite. I've always had this thing with dead bodies crawling out of the ground. Are you guys with me on this? Like, is that something that's so cool to you about, like, if you're watching a horror movie and you see a dead guy crawl out of the ground? Is that not just, I don't know, it gets me. It's like one of the coolest images that you can bring up in horror. I don't know what it is. I just love that image. Dead bodies crawling out of the ground. And Jason Lives gives you that. And I just love the look of Jason in this too, because he looks like he's completely, fully decayed. His body, he's got cobwebs all over him. His body looks like it weighs 27 pounds. If you look, when they take that freaking spike, the fence post, and they jab it into his chest, if you listen to it, it sounds like it's hollow. It sounds like he weighs nothing. Love the grave scene followed by James Bond spoof. Yes, the James Bond spoof is badass as well. But then when he opens his eyes, it's like the coolest thing ever. When you see that one eye open and then you get the music, that sounded horrible. Sorry, I really apologize for that. But when his eyeball opens up, and then he comes out, he literally punches a hole through the guy's chest. I was literally jumping up and down. I was like, yes, this is freaking awesome. This is like the coolest Jason. This might be the best Jason up to this point. Just in this scene alone, I just loved what C.J. Graham did to Jason in this opening sequence. It was just beautiful. Visually, it just looked amazing too. You got the rain coming down on him and everything. His face just, his face didn't look... I guess Jason's face never looks human, but there's always a little bit of a difference between Jason's face in every movie. And this one is the complete zombified Jason. Like, this is like the first zombie Jason we've ever seen. He looks like a zombie, pretty much. And he's probably the strongest up to this point, too. Maybe because all that electricity jolted through his body. 1986, Beth. I think that's when this one came out. 1986. Is Lee one of the knights who say kneel? Kneel? Maybe. Weatherboy says, Lee, I just realized the tallest Michael portrayal is bigger than the tallest Jason portrayal. Well, I mean, freaking Tyler Mane, we're talking, I want to say 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, he's tall. And the tallest Jason is definitely Freddy versus Jason. I always forget his freaking name. Help me out, guys. Freddy versus Jason. Ken, is it Ken Kersinger? Help me out. That's why I have you guys here. You guys always got my back. All right. Is it Ken Kersinger? I feel like that's off though. Something's off. But I'll have to look up their height because it's close. Both of them are really tall. Yeah, 6'7". Nali says Eki Oompa. What is Matt smoking? Tyler Mane is a monster. Yes, he is. He is a monster. And we're going to have a I'm glad you mentioned that because, guys, I don't know if you know this, but next Thursday night, we got another Ken Kersinger. Thank you very much. Horror Mix. If you don't know this, Horror Mix, love seeing you on Twitter too, by the way. Yeah. But if you don't know this, next Thursday, me and Michael Trapson, we're going to be racking and stacking Michael and Jason. It's going to be a freaking blast, okay? We're going to rack them and stack them from the bottom up. So that means I'll be saying Nick Castle versus Jason from Part 2. Warren Gillette, even though there's 2 different Jasons in Part 2. But we're just going to give you the main Jason, I guess. So Warren Gillette. So we'll put those 2 against each other, and then we'll just keep working our way up. And I think we're gonna do like a point system or something like that. But it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be really cool. You are welcome. You're welcome. All right. So, where were we? He punched a hole through his chest. Okay. And so then after this, I love just that reaction of Tommy Jarvis after. Like he's like, oh shit, I am in deep shit now. I am stupid. I'm bringing it full circle, okay? What did I say at the beginning of this section? I said Tommy Jarvis is the biggest idiot on the planet Earth. And this is when he realizes it. He's like, oh my God, am I really that stupid? I just brought back the most dangerous person on the planet who was in a deep sleep. He was probably dreaming about the nicest things you could possibly dream about, and I just woke him up, and now he's pissed off. Goddamn, I'm the dumbest motherfucker on this planet. That's exactly what Tommy Jarvis was thinking. Okay, if you guys didn't know that, you know it now. You know. So next time you watch Part 6, when he looks at Jason staring at him after he punched a hole in that chest, know that Tommy Jarvis is thinking, I'm the biggest, dumbest motherfucker on this planet. Okay. All right. So Part 6, man, it's a fun movie, guys. It's a fun movie. It's my number 4. I really like it. Some people say this is their number 1. People love this movie to death. Right now, I want to see a line. What is your numerical designation of Part 6? I'm so curious to see what you guys think of this movie, okay? I want to see if you are closer to my ranking or if you think it's like top 2, okay? Joshua Tayback, thank you for doing this. I'm still at work going on my 14th. Holy shit, Josh, man. Hang in there, brother. And your podcast is the only thing keeping me sane, so I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Joshua. Hell yeah, man. You know what's keeping us sane? Jason fucking Voorhees. That's what's keeping us sane. All right? Hell yeah. Man, 14 hours, dude. Hang in there, okay? Hang in there. That's all. Hopefully you're getting off soon, right? Hopefully you're getting off soon. So Holly says number 2. Jehonan Slane says number 3. Hex says number 2. Number 2. Wow, a lot of number 2s. 3rd or 4th for Horminks. Number 5 for Christopher. Number 1 for Elm Street 2010. Erica says number 3. So yeah, it's a very loved movie, you know. Do you see Trapson's latest video, him knocking on the door? Hilarious. No, I was actually thumbing through because I was watching Bloody Birthday today on YouTube. You know, that's what I spend my lunches doing, just trying to catch up on movies that I need to review. And I did see that Michael posted like a quick little short, so I'm actually gonna check that out like right after this. So that'll be really cool. Do you guys want to check it out together? We could check it out together right now on this if you want to. Time is it 9:41? We got 20 minutes. Can we do it? Hold on. Let me pull it up. We'll do it together. Hold on. Just because you guys are so awesome. We're gonna watch Michael Trapson's latest video. I think it's only like 50 seconds or something like that. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. 55 seconds. Okay, let me get you guys over here. Hold on. We're gonna watch it together, okay? Let me put on my headphones. All right, you guys ready for this? Here we go.
Come on, I got somewhere to go.
He's got to go to the bathroom. That's exactly how Michael Jackson went out. That is awesome.
Who the hell talking about that? Oh, my bad. I just have to take a piss.
I just have to piss. Oh, that was good. Thank you for that, Beth. That was awesome. That was great. Okay, let me go back over here. No. He's just got to piss. Sometimes you got to piss. That was great. Love that. All right. Moving on. We got to move on, guys. Okay, here we go. Moving on. All right. Number four. I think you guys are going to dig this one. This one's a good one. Freddy versus Jason Cornfield Locker. Why did I call it Cornfield Locker? Well, if you've seen the movie, then you know why I called it Cornfield Locker, okay? This is a long sequence too, by the way, okay? It's a really cool scene, but we gotta move, okay? So I love this scene because this probably has the biggest body count out of the entire franchise. In just this one scene, like Jason is freaking slaying victims left and right throughout, and he's on fire. So visually, it's just like the coolest looking scene ever. It's a fun part of the movie. I love Freddy vs. Jason, by the way. That is a fun ass movie. But you got Jason, he's walking at like -2 miles an hour, and everybody around him, they're just like running from him. So this is a slasher trope anyway, though. You know, the victims always run slower than the walking killer. It's a slasher trope. You have to deal with it, but it's kind of funny when you think about it. But man, it's just such a badass scene. It really is. It's just like, wow, everybody's having this big party. By the way, guys, the production value in Freddy vs. Jason, this feels like a freaking $100 million movie. Or at least like maybe 50 million. It feels big. Am I right? Doesn't this movie just feel like massive? But on that massive scale, putting these two titans in the movie together, I think they could have done a lot worse. I'll say that. You know, they could have easily fallen on their faces. But I love this scene, and another reason why I love it so much is because this is when Freddy starts really getting pissed off at Jason. Because Freddy, he's lining up this kill scene with Catherine Isabel. And she is being, like, this movie really tackled some issues way before. Like now, this is like 13 Reasons Why type stuff. Like, she's literally getting date raped by this guy, this asshole in this cornfield. You know, he's taking advantage of her while she's out. And meanwhile, she's having a dream, and she's in the boiler room with Freddy. And by the way, this is the best version of Freddy, I think, since I'll say part 4. I'll say part 4. Maybe even 3. I mean, if this would have been just a full-on Freddy movie, then Freddy would have been back in a big way. Like, I mean, would you guys agree with that? Like, Freddy was so badass in this movie. This was Freddy's movie, even though he only gets 1 kill. I think that should tell you how great Robert Englund was as the character in this movie. How great Freddy as a character was in this movie. Because he gets 1 kill, but he steals the show. You know, he's amazing in this movie. And so you got Jason just hacking and slashing all these kids. And then he comes upon this situation where Catherine Isabel's character is being, raped. And I guess I was going to say thank God for Jason, but he ends up killing her anyway. But yeah, so she's in the locker. Freddy's about to slice and dice. And then what happens? At the last second, Jason kills her. He sticks his freaking machete like right in her, I believe, like right in her frontal region, and he kills her. And so right after that, Freddy's like, "Oh, you're kidding me? Are you kidding? I set this whole thing up. I was gonna kill her, and then you freaking do it, you asshole." Which, by the way, too, is a cool thing. There is a little bit of comedy in this movie, but they played it for the most part pretty serious, which was awesome. But man, I just love the tone of Freddy vs. Jason. It finds that right balance. I think they couldn't have gotten a better director than Ronnie Yu to do it, if I'm being honest. If you like that type of movie, then yeah, I loved it. I loved it. The Real Sean, thanks, brother. He says, today is the 17th anniversary of the release date of Freddy vs. Jason. Check that out. And you know what, guys? I was in Korea when Freddy vs. Jason came out. Can you imagine how sad inside I was that I didn't get to watch the 2 of the biggest horror titans? I didn't get to watch them in the on the big screen. It still to this day, it breaks my freaking heart. It really does. Welcome to my world, bitch. That's right. Damn right, Destiny. But man, that's a great scene. Emily says, I met Robert Englund at Comic-Con, and he would do the Freddy voice periodically unexpected. Yeah, I wish I got a chance to meet Robert Englund. He was supposed to come to Spooky Empire one year, and then he didn't come for some reason. But he's just one of the most like I guess chatty, loquacious type of celebrities out there. Like, he loves just talking with people. You know, he seems like a really cool dude. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody say he was a dick to them. And I'm sure some celebrities, they have their bad days, they have their good days. So I always take those complaints with a grain of salt. But Robert Englund seems like he'd be a badass dude, actually, to talk to. Okay, next one. We are in the top 3, guys. Top 3. So, what do we got left? Let's think about it, okay? What do you think is going to be number 3? Go ahead and give me your top 3 right now. You can even just tell me what movie you think by the process of elimination, because there's a couple movies I still haven't mentioned yet. Okay? Couple movies I still haven't mentioned yet. So let me know what you think part 3 is going to be. Number 3 is going to be. And Holly says, Robert Englund was a pleasure to meet. Such a great guy. Yeah, he seems awesome. He seems awesome. Lee, what have you done if this was a triple threat? Freddy, Jason, and Michael. Daniel, I don't know what the question is. What have you done if this was a triple threat? Freddy, Jason, and Michael. I don't know what the question is, Daniel. I don't know what the question is. I'll say 12. My answer to that question is 12. Okay. Friday 1980. I haven't mentioned that one yet. Part 1. So, Erica says she did mention part 4, even though I have mentioned part 4. You guys know that there's one movie in here that does get 2 mentions. All right. Erica was paying attention. She was paying attention. Okay. All right. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Number 3. What do we all like for breakfast? Bacon. This is one of the most important scenes in the franchise. it just so happens Kevin Bacon gets one of the coolest kills. I mean, it's a really great kill, and it happens to be in the first movie. The first movie has some awesome kills. And I'll say this right now, guys. I prefer the first movie over part 6. I said part 6 was my number 4. My number 1 is part 4. Number 2 is part 2. Number 3 is the first movie. I think the first movie is extremely important in the slasher genre. I think it delivers wholeheartedly on the kills. Thank you, Mr. Tom Savini. And I love that Jason is not the killer at the end. I love that Jason comes out of the water at the end with Alice. It's just it's honestly one of the greatest jump scares ever put to film. Can you think of a jump scare better than the end of Friday the 13th? Can you? I dare you. You can't. But this scene with Kevin Bacon, it's a nice little love scene. It's a nice little sex scene. You know, it's a little on the sensual side, but we don't mind that, right, guys? Nice and sensual. And then they're in this is that a bunk bed they're in? Even though they're both on the bottom bunk, and nice little scene going on. And so Kevin Bacon lies back, and sure enough, this freaking arrow comes under the bed through his neck, and blood comes out. It's beautifully done. It's such an effective scene. If you freeze frame it like that, freeze frame right there, and you can see the prosthetic over the neck, because the way they do this scene is his body's actually under the bed, and that's like a fake torso. But it's such an effective kill. It's great. And it's cool that it's Kevin Bacon. This is like one of Kevin Bacon's first movies. So it's awesome. I love Kevin Bacon, though. Who doesn't love Kevin Bacon? That's great. I mean, he has his own game, his Hollywood game after him. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, because he's been in so many movies. But I think more importantly, Kevin Bacon does a lot of different genres. He'll do anything. He'll do comedy. He'll do drama. He'll do horror. He's done other horror movies too, by the way. I mean, his last movie that just came out is pretty much a horror thriller. Stir of Echoes is a phenomenal movie that came out around the same time as Sixth Sense, and I actually prefer Stir of Echoes. I love Stir of Echoes. Great freaking movie. But that kill, Tom Savini's work in that kill, so good. So good. All right, top 2, guys. Top 2. So we know that one of these is going to be Friday Part 2. What scene do you think I'm talking about with Friday Part 2? What scene is it? Okay? What scene? I want you to try to guess what scene I'm talking about from Friday Part 2. And this scene might be number 1. It might not be number 2. Okay? But we know that there's one movie that I've already mentioned that's going to be either number 2 or number 1. All right? But I'm curious to see what you guys think. Curious to see what you think. All right? And I know I'm stretching this out, and I know you're killing me right now. But love Stir of Echoes. Probably seen that. Yeah, it's a great movie. That twist is amazing in Stir of Echoes. Wheelchair. Elijah King says wheelchair, bedpan kill. I see a lot of kills. So you guys think I'm going to pick a kill for my favorite scene of Part 2. When Jason is running across the road, man, I'm surprised none of you have mentioned it yet. I am literally surprised that none of you... This is one of the most famous scenes in the franchise, and none of you have mentioned it yet. It's insane. It's insane. Everybody's saying wheelchair. All right, I'm about to show you. Bradley Heath, first time in a live stream. I hope you had a good time, man, because this is probably one of my favorites I've had so far. Okay, here we go, guys. Number 2. God damn, I'm excited. Number 2. It is Part 2, and it is the Sackhead surprise. Even though he took the sack head off. This is the scene that probably scared me the most out of the franchise. Okay, this is to me the scariest scene out of the franchise. When I first saw this, I couldn't sleep for weeks. I was dying. This was crazy. Visually, it was just the scariest looking thing I'd ever seen. I've always had this thing too with masks and when you build the character up that wears the mask for so long, you add to the mystery of him. You add to how scary he is. Horminx said it. Horminx gets the credit. She gets the credit. The window kill. But when the reason this scene works so well is because they built up Jason as a character throughout the movie so effectively that by the time this scene happened, you couldn't take it. You were just freaking like you would literally rip the freaking armrest out of the chair. The tension by this point was so insane because of how great that final act was with Jenny. This is one reason why Jenny is considered one of the greatest final girls ever. But you're thinking everybody's okay. She took down Jason, or at least she thought she took down Jason. And then this cute little doggy comes to the door, and they play the nice little music. It's pretty much a copy of part 1, with the nice calm music, and then boom, jump scare. And I think, I'm not going to say they topped the first movie in terms of a jump scare, but it came damn close. And it almost matched the first movie, which is a really, really hard thing to do. I mean, it's a really hard thing to do, to come up with a jump scare that's that effective. And they did it 2 movies in a row. Like, this scene was so goddamn effective. Like, it scared the shit out of me. Joshua Tayback, part 2 was my gateway to horror. Love this movie. Yeah, part 3 was my gateway, I think. But because I saw part 3 first, and then I saw this one. And I was kind of confused, because part 3 had this hockey mask, and then I watched part 2, and he had the sack head. And I preferred the sack head. And I think the reason I preferred the sack head was because of this scene. How scary Jason was coming through that window. Warren Gillette jumping through that window. Which, Warren Gillette, he was a stuntman, but I know the guy got like a bad rap behind the scenes. People said that he didn't really put in the work like he should have. He took credit for a lot of work that he didn't do. Now I don't know if that I don't know 100%. I'd have to check my facts on that, but I vaguely remember them saying that he might have taken credit for some scenes that he didn't do. But I don't want to say that because I'm not 100% sure. But I will say this scene with his face was so effective. And Warren Gillette's a decent looking guy. If you've seen him, they made this pretty nice looking guy look completely scary and completely hideous with this makeup. And it's very, very effective. Very effective. Love this scene. This scene is iconic. So now we're at number 1, guys. Number 1. What do you think number 1 is? We've mentioned every movie in the franchise. Do I think you guys will guess this? Yeah, I think you guys will guess this. I think you got a good shot at and I will give you a hint. I saw somebody mention this scene earlier, so I think you guys will figure this one out. But I want to see a couple of your answers just to see, just as a barometer. Okay, what movie could it be from? What scene could it be from the movie? Muffin. That was the name of the dog. Muffin. That's the scene actually. It's part 2 and it's Muffin. The muffin scene. That's what it is. No, I'm just kidding. Now, Holly says Jason kill. Now, Jason's been killed a lot of times, Holly. Which movie are we talking about? Erica says, bro. Or Erica. Sorry, Erica. Erica Bro says, die. Just die. Could that be it? Could that be it? You goddamn right it is. You're goddamn right it is. Final chapter showdown. One of the greatest slasher final acts in horror history. I'm saying it right now. You can't beat the tension that is in this final act. Trish, who I freaking love in this movie, by the way. Trish, oh my God. Like, I love that when you have not one but 2 characters in the final act and they're fighting the evil themselves. Kind of like Rachel and Jamie in Halloween 4. Friday Part 4, you got Tommy Jarvis and Trish both working together as a team fighting Jason. Ted White is probably one of the scariest Jasons in the franchise. He was a force. Ted White, this is why Ted White is my favorite Jason, because I said this in the previous entry on this. What was the scene? Oh, Axel. Yeah, right away, Ted White makes his presence known by the way he handles Axel, and then the nurse. I mean, Ted White was, wow, scary as hell, and all the scenes in this movie with Ted White, every freaking kill, just freaking nailing it. Ted White was scary, and so once they get to this final act, and it added a little bit of something there too, that Tommy Jarvis shaves his head. You know, he looked creepy himself. You know, so you had a little bit of an added element of fear there with just, you know, because this kid at this point he's a little bit crazy in the head, you know, but he has to be a little crazy to do what he's got to do to defeat. So he shaves his head, acting like he's Jason, pretty much. And then Trish thinks that, you know, that they've killed Jason. You know, Trish put up a damn good fight against Jason. She's beating the shit out of him with his own machete. So he's down and she's hugging Tommy Jarvis. And then Tommy just sees like a finger move or something like that. And then he freaks out and then jumps over, grabs the machete, and just fucking starts hacking him to bits. I remember when I first saw this, seeing Tommy Jarvis cut him up like that. It's almost like he cut him into like 100 bits. That's the way I kind of took it when I first saw it. And I was thinking, this is definitely the final chapter. Like, there's no way that they can bring Jason back after this, right? They've literally cut him up into pot roast bits. You know, you can make Jason pot roast out of him after this movie. You know, now I want pot roast. It sounds delicious, actually. God, I love pot roast. But the scene, man, it's just so damn effective. It's so great. It's so scary. I love this scene. And one can't not mention when Tommy hits him in the head with that machete, his head slides down the machete. Thank you, Tom Savini, for what a creative, inventive kill that was. That was completely insane. Loved every second of it. But wow, am I right, guys? Is this not deserving of number one? Am I right or am I wrong? Or am I right? Come on, this scene is just everything in the kitchen sink. It's so many things all wrapped into one. It's got a great kill for the killer. It's got that emotional punch that you need. You're so invested in these characters that you want them to live. You want them to live so bad, you know? Maybe that's because you got a kid involved in the mix, but Tommy Jarvis wasn't just any normal kid. Corey Feldman did a great job as a character, actually, and I think he elevated the character. Yeah, it's just a really, really great final act. Probably one of my favorite final acts ever. If you look at my top 10 slashers of all time, Friday Part 4 is in there. And I think it's probably in the top 3 somewhere, top 4, something like that. It's a great slasher movie. It's my favorite Friday movie, bar none, hands down. And you know, I've gotten into friendly debates with people about the Part 4 and Part 6. And I you know, sometimes I get a little bit bold with my statements, and I've said like how anybody could put Part 6 above Part 4 is beyond me. Like, it's insane to me. But I'm wrong, because we all have different tastes, and Part 6 brings out it sparks joy in some people more than it sparks joy in the other people. So I'm trying to think of a Demolition Man. It's what it sparks joy, sparks. Help me. What was that Demolition Man quote? I don't know. It's funny. It sparks something. But man. So I'm wrong. If you like Part 6 better than Part 4, you like it because it touched something in you, and you're right. Okay? I'm right. You're right. We're all right. All right? Cool. Felix says I'm right. Okay. Felix. Crispin Glover dance. I mean, Crispin Glover dance alone puts it above every other movie, if I'm being honest. Right? DJ Jones says you look at Judy Aronson and you'd never believe Part 4 came out 30 plus years ago. Yes, she still looks amazing. Lee, great list. Thank you for the birthday wishes. You're welcome, Dave. I hope you had a great birthday, man. This was a lot of fun, and we finished it almost at the perfect. It's 10:06 right now, guys. I told you these things take a while, but we did it. We got through it. This was so much fun, guys. God damn, this was so much fun. I love doing top 10s. So you know what's coming next, right? I'm not saying it's next week, but we're going to do top 10 scenes of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So look for that within the coming months. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking, because I love me some Freddy. I love me some Freddy. There's a lot, even in the bad movies, there's some great freaking scenes. Okay? So mark your calendar. We're gonna have a date on that one. That one's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. But man, I had so much fun with you guys on this. This was awesome. Really had a. What can I say, Lee? When you're right, you're right, and you're always right. Now I wouldn't say always right, but I think I'm right on this one though. 4 is a freaking amazing movie. It really is. But I kind of want to go watch part 5 now, if I'm being honest. So, I had a blast with you guys. Okay, this was so much fun. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Thank you all for watching. This was DDLive number 13. Today happens to be the 13th. I had to do something special for Friday the 13th, right? Even though it's not Friday, it's Thursday, but still. So, and this is the most viewers I've had on a DDLive to date. I mean, we reached 300, guys. 300 people were watching this thing. That's the power of Jason Voorhees, okay? Dead of Summer. No, I have not seen it yet. It is definitely on my list. Good chance I could be watching it on my lunch break one of these days, okay? But I think Holly likes Freddy the best. Am I right, Holly? Holly's a big Freddy fan. I love Freddy. Freddy's my number 2, if I'm being honest. Michael, Freddy, Jason. That's my order, but I love all 3 of them. I love all 3 of them. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Excited for Nightmare on Elm Street, Emily? Yep. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to end it here. But, man, we had a great time together. This was a blast. I'll put those timestamps in if you guys want to go back and rewatch it, and if you want to go to a certain scene, or if you just want to get the quick down and dirty. Yeah. But thank you all for watching. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Take care of each other. You guys rock. And love you guys. Love you guys to death. Take care, guys.